Let me start off this video by acknowledging the purple and gold elephant in the room. I am a lifelong Lakers fan, and I have made it very clear numerous times on my channel that Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time. So although I don't think I'm being biased with this opinion, it's still entirely possible. Maybe it's my own subconscious bias that's inspiring me to get this point across. But again, I don't think so. On this channel, in front of thousands of listeners, I've been critical of Kobe numerous times. For example, I believe his selfish Finals MVP aspirations was the biggest reason the Lakers lost in the 2004 NBA Finals. I believe the Lakers making Kobe the highest paid player in the league after he tore his Achilles and was his mid-30s was one of the dumbest decisions the organization has ever made. And I also believe that Kobe's final 3 seasons after his Achilles tear was some of the ugliest basketball I have ever seen from a superstar player, as he shot only 36.6% in those last 3 seasons, while being among the league leaders in shot attempts per game. Fortunately, his 60-point farewell game kinda washed away the memory of just how bad those final 3 seasons were. So like I said before, although Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time, I at least try to be as objective as possible when talking about the game of basketball in general. So now for the topic at hand. Many people, and maybe even the majority of people who watch basketball, believe that Kobe Bryant quit on his team in Game 7 of the first round in the 2006 playoffs against the Phoenix Suns. The reason people believe this is because Kobe was publicly frustrated with the Lakers organization at this time, due to the lack of a solid supporting cast. Heading into the second half of Game 7, the Lakers were down by 15 points, and in the second half, Kobe was extremely passive and seemed reluctant to shoot the ball. After taking 13 shots in the first half, Kobe only took a total of 3 shots in the second half, and the Lakers ended up losing the deciding 7th game by a whopping 31 points. Given the fact that Kobe was a natural volume shooter, it seemed incredibly out of character for him to be so passive in the second half of a crucial game. So because of this, a narrative was firmly established that Kobe quit on his team in Game 7 of those playoffs, and it's a narrative that still regularly circulates in basketball discussions to this very day. Now for myself personally, I don't believe this narrative in the slightest, and I never have for that matter. As someone who watched every Laker game that season, I believe there is a legitimate reason why things played out the way that they did, but it requires the full context of that season. So if there's any video of mine that you watch till the very end, I ask that you would make it this one. So let's get into it. Like I mentioned before, back in my teenage years, I religiously watched every single Laker game. And I mean every single Laker game. If people ask me to go out to dinner, sorry, I can't. There's a Laker game tonight. Friends invited me to a youth group event? Sorry, I can't. There's a Laker game tonight. The girl I had a crush on invited me to her place. I would love to tomorrow, but there's a Laker game tonight. So with that being said, I vividly remember the themes and the talking points throughout that season. One of the themes was this: when Kobe wasn't scoring as much and he got his teammates involved, the Lakers tended to win games more often. This was a constant talking point during the Lakers pregame telecasts. Back then, on the Lakers local broadcast on Fox Sports Net, they had a pregame segment called Philosophy 101. It was a consistent pregame event where the Lakers head coach Phil Jackson was being interviewed by Bill McDonald, before he was the Lakers' official play-by-play commentator. Throughout the season, Phil was constantly preaching about the Lakers' need to get Kobe's teammates going as well. Although Kobe averaged 35.4 points per game that season, Phil Jackson understood that the Lakers' best recipe for success was to play a free-flowing team game. And to be honest, this has always been a major coaching tactic throughout Phil Jackson's career, as the triangle offense is one that requires plenty of ball movement, and one player constantly scoring in isolation plays is a disruption to that offense. In 1989, when Phil Jackson replaced Doug Collins as the head coach of the Chicago Bulls, he asked Michael Jordan to decrease his scoring and share the basketball more in order to win more basketball games. In 2003, when Kobe scored 40 points in 9 straight games, Phil asked Kobe to put an end to that streak so they could get Shaquille O'Neal more involved in the offense. And again, in 2006, Phil was constantly telling Kobe that he needed to trust his teammates more in order for them to be successful. And you know what? Based on the evidence we have from the Lakers' 05 to 06 season, Phil Jackson was right. When it came to Kobe's scoring, there was a sweet spot for the Lakers that season. Phil Jackson knew this, the Lakers broadcast crew knew this, and I, as a frequently spectating Lakers fan, came to learn this. In the 05 to 06 regular season, in games where Kobe scored 27 to 34 points, the Lakers had a remarkable 15-3 record. This was a Lakers team that finished as a 7th seed in the NBA playoffs. Yet when Kobe was scoring in this points range, the Lakers were winning at the rate of a first-seeded team. Now on the other hand, in games where Kobe scored 35 to 42 points, the Lakers had a disappointing 13-15 record. That's quite the contrast between the two different approaches. The coaching staff understood that when the Lakers played a natural flowing team game, they were pretty successful. But when it was all about isolation plays in the Kobe show, they were struggling just to be a team above 500. Obviously, if Kobe's going to score 81 points or 62 points in just 3 quarters, the Lakers are going to win those games. But if Kobe is going to have a game where he scores merely 40 points, then it would have been better for him to score only 30 while keeping his teammates involved. This wasn't just a theme of the Lakers' regular season, but this theme carried over into the playoffs against the Phoenix Suns. After the first 4 games in this playoff series, the Lakers had a commanding 3-1 lead over Phoenix. The thing is, Kobe wasn't looking to score very much as the Lakers were dominating the Suns, as he averaged only 23 points per game over the course of the first 4 games. Now games 5 and 6 were a totally different approach. In those games, Kobe averaged a ridiculously efficient 39.5 points per game. In those 2 games, he was hitting 57.7% of his shots, and 50% from 3-point range. Yet the Lakers still lost both of those games. Up to the point of Game 7, this theme had been consistent throughout the entirety of the season. The Lakers coaching staff knew this, and Kobe Bryant knew this. When Game 7 started, Kobe continued his scoring onslaught, trying to will his team to the second round with his scoring ability. There was only one problem though. At the end of the first half, Kobe had 23 points on 61.5% shooting, yet his Lakers were still losing by 15 points. At this pace, with this current tactic, Kobe is going to have another game where he scores over 40 points, but his Lakers are going to lose by 30. Kobe's shoot first, pass second strategy wasn't working. It didn't work throughout the regular season, it didn't work in games 5 and 6, and it certainly wasn't working in the first half of game 7. So when Kobe came out in the second half of game 7 looking to pass the ball, I didn't see a player who was quitting on his team by being passive. No, I saw a player who knew that what he was doing up to this point wasn't working, so he tried the exact opposite. I saw a Kobe who was desperately trying to get his teammates going because he knew that it was the only shot he had at defeating the Phoenix Suns. Now obviously, this tactic didn't work either, as Kobe's teammates only shot 33.3% from the field in the second half, and the Lakers ended up losing by 31 points. Now here's the thing, this wasn't just my observation after watching Game 7, but this is pretty close to Phil Jackson's and Kobe Bryant's explanation of what actually happened. Take a listen.
Well, we wanted to get back in the ball game. We're running stuff through other guys. Nash was a little bit banged up. We're trying to, work at that end of it, trying to go inside to Lamar, get an inside-out game, and Kobe just sat on that game and let the other things happen. And
when your approach to the second half, you only took a couple of shots.
Well, if we're going to get back in this type of a game, we have to have everybody contributing. In the first half, started, picking it up offensively just to keep us in the hunt. In the second half, when we're going to get back in these type of games, everybody starts getting in the rhythm. Then everybody gets pumped up about the game. It just didn't happen for us.
So now you're trying to tell me that Kobe freaking Bryant, one of the most driven, hardworking, and competitive athletes in human history, just laid over and accepted defeat? Are you serious? Kobe is one of the last people that I could ever envision doing that, based on his personality and his reputation. Guys like that don't just lay over and quit due to pettiness. For me, it's way harder to believe that a highly competitive person made a complete out-of-character action by quitting on his team than it is for me to believe that Kobe being passive was his desperate attempt to give his team a chance at winning the game. But at the end of the day, that's just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.